everybody, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a fantabulous day full of fantabulous things in it as always. And for today's video, I thought it was time that I share one of my series that I've had in the back of my mind for a while. And it's really come forward since, you guys know, Game Pass has become a huge thing, and now we're about to get PlayStation's big subscribe thing for video games. They have one, PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Now. PlayStation Plus is the online thing. Anyway, PlayStation Now, and it's going to be that, but 10 times bigger. All right, so and they're definitely doing this to compete with Game Pass. So let's be honest, this big new wave of subscribing to play all kinds of games from old to new is becoming a big thing, right? It's been a thing for a while, but it's becoming a big thing. It's becoming a very big deal. And so I thought it would be a good idea to maybe start a brand new series called Subscribe. I'll get it out in a minute. Subscribe to this. This is basically where I share with you guys games on these subscription Game Pass things, and I give you 5 of them that I think you should really go and try. And as y'all know, I do I play all sorts of games, right? I always say I play Call of Duty and everything else in between. This is basically everything else in between, like Let's Play and Share Secrets. Don't worry, I'm not moving away from Call of Duty or games like that. They're always going to be my main games. But I do play outside of them because sometimes the grind of Call of Duty, I just need a break. And I really haven't been enjoying Game Pass, and now with the PlayStation, well, the bigger PlayStation Now thing coming, I'm very excited about it. So I thought I would just start sharing games that I try out there, and I think that you should be trying. So here we go. Here is the very first subscribe to this. Here are my 5 games that I think you should be playing. By the way, all these games are on Game Pass. So here are 5 games that I think that you should be playing on Game Pass. Number 5, Psychonauts. Now, without giving away too much, Psychonauts follows Raz, a young boy with psychic abilities who runs away from the circus to try and sneak into summer camp for those with similar powers and to become a psychonaut spy with psychic abilities. Now, he finds a lot of sinister plots occurring in the camp, and he is the only one that can stop them. Now, look, this game came out years and years ago, okay? It came out with I think with the very first Xbox. It's been a hot minute. So I was really little when this game came out. I did, by the way, for those of you who don't know, I did have the very first Xbox, but I was really, really little and really, really young. But Psychonauts was never really one of those that I gravitated towards. I just don't gravitate towards those games. But with Psychonauts 2 coming out and with it being up for Game of the Year, it really started to appeal to me. So I decided to try Psychonauts before Psychonauts 2. And I am here to tell you, it is so much fun. I did not know that I could have so much fun with this type of game. It is so much fun. I know the graphics are really old, and I know that turns people off. Please do not let it turn you off. This is a great game. I'm still playing it, okay? I'm still playing it. And it is a fantastic game. I highly recommend it if you have never tried it before. And if you've been like me on the fence about the Psychonaut series, look, I highly recommend that you go and try this, and try playing the first Psychonauts. It will really help you out going in and playing it. Look, it will really help you out with understanding what's going on in the second one. I already know. I haven't played the second one, but I already know that. So that is number 5. On to number 4. Number 4, Greedfall. Now look, I know this is kind of a newer game, but look, without giving away too much of the story, let me just lay this all out for you, for those of you who do not know about this game. It is a paradise island who has been discovered by colonial forces from several districts. The land is full of magic and monsters, by the way, which makes it very interesting. Little tidbit there. The player assumes the role of De Sada, a human who recently arrives on the island and is able to ally with either the natives or several other districts that are in the land. It is also trying to find a cure, a mysterious illness for a cure that is plaguing your homeland. Now look, I was iffy about trying this game. I really was. The reason being is it had mixed reviews. It always appealed to me because I love story-driven games. And that's why I decided to try it. It kept popping up in the recommendations for me because I've played games like, I love games like Mass Effect, and I love games like Dragon Age. I love all those types of games. And so it kept recommending it for me. So I decided to break down and just try it. Now look, it's a good game. Is it Mass Effect 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition level? I don't know if it necessarily is, but I would say it's more along the lines of a Mass Effect 1 or a Dragon Age 2 level. I would say it's along those levels. It is a very good game. If you like that sort of game, then Greedfall is for you. And don't let those interesting reviews, and they are very interesting if you read them, because it's like they almost really like the game, but then at the same time they don't really like the game. And they are very, I highly recommend that you give this a try, particularly if you like that story choice, action RPG story. I do highly recommend that you try this. It is really, now this game really is based on your choices, which I really like. It really steers the story into a certain way with certain decisions, and I really like that. And I like those types of games that have that in there. So if you do too, then I highly recommend that you give this one a try. But that is number 4. On to number 3. Number 3, Gears of War. Now I am talking about the first Gears of War game. We can kind of put this into the whole Gears of War series, but I'm talking about the first one today, alright? You'll see some of the other ones in later ones, but I'm talking about the first one today, okay? The game begins 14 years after Emergency Day, also known as E-Day. Is when the Locusts overran and killed most of the COD soldiers, also known as Gears, and most of humanity, because they declared war on humanity. Marcus, who is a former Gear, is reinstated into the military after spending 4 years in prison for abandoning his post in order to make a last attempt to save his father. Dominic, also known as Dom, and Marcus are best friends. Dom successfully extracts Marcus from prison and takes him to meet Delta Squad. The group is seeking a reservoir, a device that can map the hollows, also known as caverns, underground, where the locusts inhabit the earth to try and destroy them. Now look, I'm not going to give away too much in case you have not played the Gears of War series. Now, but look here. You guys may think, why on earth didn't I put this on here? There's a reason why I put this on here. And the reason why being is I'm actually shocked about how many people have not played Gears of War. I have literally met a lot of people who have not played Gears of War, and I think there's a few reasons. If we think about Xbox original series, we think about Halo, and I think about Gears. Now, those are the two original ones, and I actually think that in some ways, Halo kind of overshadows Gears of War sometimes, which by the way, for those of you who think I'm hating on Halo, I am not. I love Halo. Ooh, I love Halo. I credit it as one of the games that really made me fall in love with gaming. But I do think Gears of War, it needs its time in the spotlight. And look, if you have never played Gears of War, you need to play Gears of War. It is a fantastic gaming series. You need to start off with the first one. Don't go into the other ones. I also think the first one gets overshadowed by some of the other Gears of War games. And this one is really, really, really good. The first one. Yes, is the graphics a little old? Yes. And that goes for most of the Gears of War series. Is the gameplay a little clunky? Yes, in the first one it really is, and I would go as far as to say the first two. It does improve in the second one though, and it really improves in the third one. Yes, but it is worth experiencing this amazing story and these amazing characters that are just really endearing. You care about these characters and you care about what happens to them. If you have not tried this, please do yourself a favor and go try it, okay? Go and try it. But that is number 3. On to number 2. Number 2, Fight Night Champion. Now, Fight Night Champion is a boxing game that is developed by EA and is the 5th and last installment into the Fight Night series. And in my opinion, it is the best one. And here's why. This is actually the very first EA sport game that features a full Hollywood-inspired story mode called Champion Mode. Okay, we get them nowadays, right? We get them in all of these sport games, but this is the very first one to do it. In my opinion, it is one of the best, if not the best sport game, one of the best sport games out there, and also one of these best sport game stories that you can actually play out. The story follows the career of Andre Bishop, a talented boxer who is forced to overcome great setbacks, including a prison sentence, which by the way is not was falsely accused, by the way, and a corrupted fight promoter. Now look, I know you probably guys have heard that the last boss is hard. Okay, and look, he is hard, but do not let that turn you away from this game. Like I said, this is the best one, in my opinion, out there. One of the best sports stories in gaming out there. Now, look, I was a little iffy about trying the game. I was really trying it because I was going to do a YouTube series for you guys called Fight Night, because I do like fighting games. I like Street Fighters. I like Mortal Kombat. I like all those kinds of games. I play a lot. I told you guys, I play Call of Duty and everything else in between, and I really mean everything else in between. So I've played about everything under the sun, and I do love fighting games. So that's why I decided to try this one. And it actually came up in my recommendations again, like Greedfall, and I loved it, and I was so moved by the story itself. It is a very good story. I highly recommend it. And look, even if you are iffy about it, because it's a boxing game, you may like Street Fighters, but you're not really into the sport ones. Look, this is before sport games went bad, in my opinion. This is when sport games was actually really good. And this is the era when I played sport games, all right? I don't really play much of the new ones. I always go back to these older ones, and I highly recommend. This is a hidden gem, I feel like, that that people have not discovered yet, and I highly recommend that you go and discover this gem of a game. That is number 2, okay? And I highly recommend that you play number 2, okay? And there's a reason why it's number 2 on this list. I debated about putting it on number 1, but I decided to put it on number 2 because you're about to see number 1, okay? So here we go. Number 1, Battlefield Bad Company. Now, yes, I know. We're all tired of Battlefield after a moment, and honestly, we all feel a little bit burnt after Battlefield 2042. I know. However, in my opinion, the Bad Company series, and particularly Bad Company, the very first one, is one of the best Battlefield games in my opinion, and I am quite shocked about how many people have never played the Bad Company series. And I highly recommend it, by the way, if you have not played it. But now, for those of you who do not know, Bad Company is about a 4-man fire team from Company B, also known as Bad Company, composed of troublemakers who are used in Battlefield in the role of cannon flubber. Or cannon flubber. I don't know how to pronounce it, don't ask me. But anyway, they are basically used to go in there and take fire while everybody else, while other people basically they are they're the quintessential of underdogs who have been troublemakers all their life, been out and out of prison and stuff like that. And they are basically used as targets, so in missions, so the other bigwigs can come in and take over and get the credit and stuff like that. Anyway, this really reminds me of one of my favorite movies. For those of you who have not seen this movie, by the way, you need to see it. It's called The Dirty Dozen. I highly recommend that you see the movie. It's one of my favorite war movies of all time.
Now, I'm going to ask General Denton to read these orders just as they came down to us. After that, if you have any questions, you can ask them. Understand?
Yes, sir.
General?
Project Amnesty. You will select 12 general prisoners convicted and sentenced to death or to long terms of imprisonment for murder, rape, robbery, and/or other crimes of violence and so forth. Train and qualify these prisoners in as much of the business of behind-the-lines operations as they can absorb in a brief but unspecified time. You will then deliver them secretly into the European mainland, and just prior to the invasion, attack and destroy the target specified overleaf.
That's all?
That's all.
Anyway, without giving away too much of the story, particularly since a lot of people have not played the Battlefield Bad Company series, I'm not going to say anything more about the story, but it is a fantastic game. In my opinion, is one of the best, okay? And in my opinion, it's actually, I will argue with it that it is probably my favorite besides Battlefield 1. Yes, I know Battlefield 4 is good. It is good. It is. However, the story of Bad Company is just so good. It's actually very immersive, and it actually is an open world. Believe it or not, it is an open world. You can actually get in a tank and you drive tanks and you drive cars and all sorts of stuff to your next destination. And along the way, there are several things that you can do, and it's just a good one. It's a hidden gem. I feel like another hidden gem for you guys is another one that I think that is overshadowed by some of the other Battlefields in the Battlefield series. And it is very good. Look, if you have not tried this game, it is a fantastic game and fantastic characters. You end up really caring about the characters in this game. You really, really do. I highly recommend it if you have never played it and played it before. But there you go. There are my 5 games that you should be subscribing to play. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I really enjoy doing this for you guys, okay? Because I get to play games that I've either have played or I want to play, and I get to share them with you guys, and I love doing that. But please let me know in the comments below if you really like this new series, and what would you put on this list that you think are hidden gems that are on these subscription-based gaming platforms now. Let me know in the comments below, and let me know which one maybe you would put at number 1 or at number 2 or whatever. You guys get the picture. Please let me know in the comments below. Please comment, like, and subscribe. You don't have to, but I would love for you to. And I will see you in the next video, well, that you see me in. Goodbye. Goodbye.